What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? Did you guys know that today was Global Running Day? Yeah, I didn't either. But I am excited because Garmin is celebrating it by releasing two new GPS watches, the Garmin Forerunner 945 LTE, which I made a separate video about, and the Garmin Forerunner 55. This is Garmin's more affordable line of GPS watches, and they've made some great updates from the previous model, the Forerunner 45. And Garmin did send me this watch for the purpose of this review, but they're not sponsoring this video, and no money was changed hands or anything weird like that. And I'll be packaging this watch back up and sending it back to Garmin after this review. And the Garmin Forerunner 55 cost $200, which is the exact same as the previous Forerunner 45 model, although I have seen that model discounted slightly at about $150 lately. And this watch comes in at a very light 37 grams. And size-wise, it's not too massive either. It's about 42 millimeters in diameter and only 12.4 millimeters in depth, so it doesn't really sit too high up on your wrist. And here is what this watch looks like on my wrist that, are still very manly, but clearly built more for running than, heavy lifting or something like that. And here is what this watch looks like on my wife's wrist. And this watch has an optical wrist-based heart rate monitor, or it can be paired with a chest strap. It also has ANT Plus and Bluetooth connectivity, so you can connect it with other sensors and accessories like foot pods or speed cadence sensors. But I was not able to connect it to my bike power meter or my bike Varia radar. And it does work as a smartwatch, meaning that you can connect it to your smartphone and you can display or you can dismiss notifications. And with this watch, you can track, basic running metrics, distance and pace and, your heart rate. You can also get daily suggested workouts, and you have access to something called Garmin Coach. Garmin Coach is just, training plans that are provided to you from Garmin. So, if you want to train to finish, your first 5K or, a half marathon or something like that, you can download plans and make those pop up on your watch. And this watch also has that new track mode, which I've talked about on this channel before, but it just allows the GPS coordinates to just lock onto a particular track, after you've established that track. And it's just a much more accurate way of measuring your distance when you're doing track workouts. And in addition to, the basic running activity and that track activity, the Forerunner 55 also has indoor track, treadmill running, walking, indoor walking, yoga, elliptical, cardio, HIIT workout tracking, stair stepper, Pilates, and this breathe workout thing. And although, my background was, as a runner, on this channel, we are always talking about, swimming, biking, and running stuff. And this watch also has a biking activity type and a pool swimming activity type. And I absolutely love Garmin watches for swimming. I test a lot of watches on this channel, and I personally think that Garmin does a really good job, providing swimmers really accurate ways of tracking their distances, even if you're doing a more complex swim workout with different drills and different kick sets and things like that. And, when it comes to GPS accuracy, I compared this watch to quite a few watches. The 2-year-old Garmin 945, that latest Garmin 945 LTE, and then the Garmin 745, which is, up until this point been, the most accurate GPS watch that I've been testing. And it seems to me that Garmin has done a really fantastic job with, all of their newer watches. And you guys can probably see here on this particular turn that, it really looks like the only watch that struggles with this one is that 2-year-old Garmin 945. The Garmin Forerunner 55 is the one here in purple, and to me, it looks very solid. And I also tested heart rate accuracy on this watch, and the Forerunner 55 uses Garmin's kind of standard optical heart rate monitor, but I didn't see any major problems here. I would just say that, if you are going to base your training or any sort of particular racing plans based on heart rate, I still would suggest that you pick up a chest strap. I do have quite a few videos on this channel talking about why the wrist is kind of a rough spot to get an accurate heart rate. So, check those out when you guys get a chance. But another update to this watch that I'm really excited about is the additional battery life that's been given. I wasn't able to test that Forerunner 45, but the new 55 can go up to 2 weeks in smartwatch mode, and it can provide up to 20 hours of battery life in GPS mode, which is, I would say about twice that of the old 45. And for me, battery life is huge. I really think that would be a real kind of factor in picking out which watch you want to choose and potentially making this one a little bit more alluring than that 45. And while there are actually a ton of activity types on this watch, it is still primarily a running watch. I would love to have had the option to, have an open water swimming activity on this watch. I would love to see a triathlon mode on this watch. I get why they don't do that, but to me, it personally just feels like Garmin is, holding back features a bit on some of these watches. And there are other watches on the market like the Coros Pace 2 that, are really the exact same price as this, but they don't seem to limit the features. And when it comes to biking, obviously I would have loved to be able to connect the watch to a few more devices. But other than that, I don't have a ton of complaints with this new Forerunner 55. And as I've been using this watch for, swimming and biking and running, I've been thinking to myself, maybe this watch is, all that I really ever need. And, honestly, I don't race that many triathlons in any given year. And when I do race, they're gonna provide the timing with the event. I do love swimming open water. I feel like for the most part, I could get pretty close with this watch to kind of having everything I need. But for you guys, if you are primarily a runner and you're looking for a very accurate, very well-designed GPS watch that can, track a variety of different activity types, I think the Forerunner 55 is a good option. And as always, don't forget to get out there, swim, bike, run, rinse, and then repeat it all over again. And we will see you guys on the next one.